So I thought that I would read you a little bit of one of my stories from my book, I Don't Know These Shadows. So this story here is called My Girlfriend Zinnia. So let, let's get started. Are you mad? She asked me. I looked up from the edge of the bed to see his blood was still smeared on her face. No. We stared at each other for a moment. Her chest moved up and down quickly. I could see the tears that she was holding back. She knew I was lying. I didn't think it would go that far. I know. I promise I wasn't into it. I know you have to do what you need to survive. The only thing that I ask is you don't lie to me. I didn't. I don't. Oh, come on, Zinnia. I've never seen those looks when we are together. Maybe you're just more into guys. Maybe you're just not as into me as you thought. I have never been in love with or as into anyone as I am with you. Besides, I don't even like guys that much. I can't stand most of them, to be honest. Just get cleaned up so we can get out of here. She took off her blood-stained clothes and jumped into the shower. Not bothering to close the curtain, she quickly twisted her hair, letting the faintly red water fall into the tub. She dried off and put on the last clean outfit she had. After 2 years of running and hiding, we had become experts on creating new identities. We learned how to get fake IDs and memorize our new names. We became experts on escaping from motel rooms, experts on cleaning up all the blood and disposing of any evidence. We became experts in hiding shock and other intense emotions. Me, the shock of what it took my girlfriend to survive. Her, the extreme guilt that came from it. We're running out of places to go, I said, my tone more harsh than I intended. If you decide not to keep following me, I'll understand, she said. You know I won't do that. I continued to walk a few steps before realizing she had not moved. I turned to see that she was standing there, staring at me. What are you doing? I asked her. Is it because you love me or because you feel obligated to? I was getting irritated. I hated that feeling. I hated those days when I woke up being bothered by everything. Those were the nights where I went to bed thinking I hadn't apologized enough for my attitude. I took a deep breath, trying to prevent myself from acting on impulse and saying something I'd later regret. What do you mean? I asked as calmly as possible. Don't you remember when you told me you were great at keeping promises? In 7th grade, you told me keeping promises were important to you because your grandmother died before fulfilling her promise to you. So my question is, are you staying because you love me or because you feel obligated to keep the promise that you would? I didn't answer right away because I couldn't. I didn't know. Of course I loved her. I never would have made the promise to stay if I hadn't. But making a promise was different from keeping one. I made it because I loved her. Now I had to figure out if I was keeping it for the same reason. I shrugged. Can it be both? I asked, trying not to cry. She nodded and we began walking again. We walked for a couple of hours before we settled in a large parking lot behind a small thrift store. I sat on the ground, my back against the cold brick of the building, and dug through what we called our snack bag. I pulled out some teriyaki beef jerky and ripped up a small piece with my teeth. I tried not to eat too much meat as Zinnia needed it more. It didn't help her as much as human meat, but it was enough to keep her going for long periods between hunts. I'm going to call my mom, I told her. Maybe we can stay there with her for a while. Maybe we can stay with her for a while. Not long after Zinnia and I moved to Minnesota, my mother got remarried to a man named Miles. Miles was nice and treated my mother well, but was often gone due to work. At first, my mother loved the peace and quiet she got in her new house, but it soon became too quiet. She called me nearly every day asking me to come visit her. She had broken her leg one winter, so it was easier if people came to visit her. What are you going to tell her? I'll tell her that Linda was getting to be too much to work around and I had to quit. How do you plan on us getting back to Illinois? We don't have a lot of money left. We might have enough for bus tickets. We'll just have to eat what's in the snack bag until we get there. I'm sure we can make 7 hours on that. I bought the tickets on my phone. We slept behind the store and made our way to the bus station the next morning. The bus was nearly full, so we didn't get to sit next to each other. I had a seat next to the window, so I occupied my time by taking pictures. I called my mother when we got off the bus. I'll be there in an hour, she told me. I'm so happy to see the two of you, she said as she got out of the car to hug us. Yeah, it's been a while, Zinnia said. Too long. Megan should have quit that job a long time ago. My home is always open. You both know that. We know, Mom. We appreciate it. Does Miles know we're here? I called him before I left. He said one of you might have to sleep on the couch since the guest room is full with the big bed is full of boxes. That's okay. We're just glad to have a place to stay, I said. I'll look for an air mattress this week so at least you both can sleep in the same room. Thank you, Zinnia said. Later that day, we went shopping with my mother. She needed some stuff for the house and told us we might as well tag along and buy the food we wanted. I spent what was left of our money on corn dogs, Hot Pockets, and frozen pizzas. Did you pick out any food? I asked Zinnia. She held up a bag of chicken tenders and a bottle of honey mustard. This should keep me going until my next hunt, she said. Please, not in the neighborhood, I whispered. Of course not. You know I never go after families, and that's all there is around here. Okay, do what you need to do. Just don't hunt those who don't deserve it. I won't. I always make sure first. Thank you for keeping my secret. Isn't that what you do when you love someone? She smiled at me, but had sadness in her eyes. Some might say doing the opposite is love. She put the bag of chicken tenders and the bottle of honey mustard in the cart and continued, looking through the freezer section. Okay. Oh. I just realized that I am missing mustard in that sentence. Okay, anyways. I'm kind of wondering if I publish it that way now. No, that's gonna bother me. But that's okay. It's not the biggest thing. Ooh, but I'd be so mad. Anyways, a few days later, after finishing the last of her chicken tenders, she was ready to hunt again. She made up the story about how she's going to check out places that were with hiring signs to tell my mother. Do you need a ride? No, it's too far. Okay, dear, be safe. you want me to go with you? I asked when my mother left the kitchen. No, I'll be okay. You need a break from having to see that. I'll always be there to support you. I'm sorry if I made you doubt if I cared. Okay, so that is just a little bit of the story, My Girlfriend Zinnia. Let me know if you want to hear any more or hear any more like little excerpts of any more of the stories. This is a short story collection called I Don't Know These Shadows, and you can find it on Amazon. I write under the name S.C. Dickinson. I also have it on my Ko-fi in ebook form. So now I have hardback, paperback, and ebook. I don't expect anybody to try to get the hardback because it's freaking expensive, but I put it out there anyway because I want to see how it came out. But yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of the story so far, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.